Let's talk about video game upscalers. Most of us use one, whether you are a retro gamer and want to enjoy the best possible image, or use a dedicated device like a FrameMeister or an open source scan converter, or even use a 4K television, but your system only supports 720p or 1080. A good upscaler can really make a difference. Many of us don't even realize that upscalers are built into consoles and televisions. The Xbox 360's HANA upscaler chip will upscale to a max of 1080p, but most 360 games natively don't even come close to running at this resolution. The PS4 Pro supports 4K, but there's only a handful of native 4K games on that system. This device, known as the mClassic, is a plug-and-play graphics processor that will take any resolution, upscale, and apply post-processing. Developed by the company known as Marseille, they sent me this device for review. They've also developed the M-Cable, which has been getting a lot of interest in the community. The mClassic has an Indiegogo campaign going on right now, and they've already raised a ton of money, it seems. It boasts using a high-performance scaler that has no compromise on visual fidelity, no added noise, and is said to add less than 1 frame of lag to the input chain. So, in theory, this all sounds really cool, but is it any good? Well, that's what we're going to find out. We're going to jump in and test out the mClassic with a bunch of different games and a bunch of different systems. But before we jump into that, we have a sponsor on today's channel, NordVPN. With internet privacy being such a huge thing these days, it's important more now than ever to protect yourself. A VPN does exactly that. It will hide your IP address and encrypt all the data that you send and receive. If you connect to public Wi-Fi hotspots, your security and privacy may be at risk. This has happened to me before, and I've had things like credit cards stolen in the past, and it's not much fun at all. Now I know what you're thinking, why is MVG peddling this? I get lots of sponsorship offers almost every day and delete almost every one. And there's already a bunch of VPN services out there, so why is NordVPN any different? Well, trust me, I did my homework on these guys. I signed up and took a look around at their features that they claim to have. You can connect to over 4,000 different servers across the world. This means not only is your true IP address and identity masked, it means that you can get around any annoying geolocation locked video content. You know, the ones that say, this video isn't supported in your country? Well, with some of my family living in Australia, this gets really annoying for me, and when I want to watch things like the local Aussie news, with NordVPN, I can easily switch the country to Australia, and this problem goes away. When I'm researching my videos, because of the nature of my channel, sometimes I need to access old unsecured websites of modding and the underground. I feel safer knowing that my true IP address is not exposed to these sites. I mean, who the heck knows what data they're trying to gather? And finally, and this is the most important one, NordVPN will never mine or log your activity. In other words, it's 100% totally private. You can use the app on your desktop, laptop, and even on your phone if you travel. I would almost always recommend a VPN before connecting to public Wi-Fi. NordVPN has an awesome offer on right now. If you sign up at nordvpn.org/mvg, you will save 75% off a 3-year plan and get an extra month for free. You also will get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you think this thing sucks, then just cancel it and get your money back, no questions asked. So back to the mClassic. The package is nice and the device looks cool, but let's get something out of the way first. This is not really a plug-and-play device by definition, as it requires an external power source. It's really no different than any other upscaler like a FrameMeister in this regard. You're not plugging and playing anything at all. I get it, this is a minor nitpick, but I did want to call it out. The only difference here is you're connecting it directly to your console via HDMI. The way that the mClassic works is that it will take the native resolution of your console and upscale it to 1080p and apply post-processing to smooth out the jaggies. This means that a 480p Dreamcast will upscale to 1080p, and the results can be pretty good. If your system is already set to 1080p, for example an Xbox 360, it will upscale it to 1440p. Now the device has a 3-way switch. You can bypass the scaler, turn it on, and there's also the retro mode, which is used to enhance 480p content and also provide a 4:3 aspect ratio for you. This is a cool feature since not all televisions and displays will allow for a 4:3 aspect ratio natively. But to be honest, are you really wanting to use this with 240p or 480p retro consoles? Unless you have a native from the chip internal HDMI model similar, using this on a Wii or a Dreamcast or something like a Pound or a Hyperkin HDMI cable is not going to look particularly great, as it's only going to upscale the noise along with the signal. Something like the PlayStation 2, you're going to want to use an RGB or component cable into an open source scan converter. To me, the mClassic doesn't make much sense in this scenario. However, if you are lucky enough to use an internal HDMI modded Nintendo 64 or Dreamcast, then it definitely may add some value here. There are more internal HDMI mods coming to different systems, so this may be definitely something you may want to check out. One particular HDMI modded solution is the GameCube. With the Eon GC Mark II or the Insurrection Industries Carby, let's go ahead and see how this performs.
Go. Rob, find that black-hearted ape's location. Affirmative.
First impressions on the GameCube are certainly promising. We're running the Insurrection Industries Carby version 2, which is 480p over HDMI. And switching over to the mClassic, it's difficult to tell during the game, but if you take screenshots of both and compare, you can easily see the differences, with the mClassic smoothing out the jaggies and producing a more vibrant image overall. But this is where things get a little weird. Next up, I tried my PlayStation TV and Borderlands 2. On paper, the mClassic should really do an awesome job here, but for some reason, there's no difference in image quality at all. I checked and double checked my connections and made sure that the pass-through wasn't enabled, but for some reason, the mClassic and the PS Vita TV don't really seem to work well together.
Let's go! If we don't get my eye back, we'll never get to Sanctuary! I am in this location!
Then I moved on to the Xbox 360. For this test, I dropped the 360 back to 720p and captured Halo Reach. Then I compared 720p plus the mClassic. The result? Identical, except for a more vibrant image overall, but certainly no smoothed out jagged edges. And for comparison, this is how the 1080p HANA Upscaler looks in the Xbox 360. Maybe Reach has a ton of post-processing going on, and the differences are negligible. So for that, I tried Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and that has no differences either. Next up, I tested the Nintendo Switch. I know for a fact that this has worked for other reviewers, so I tested out Breath of the Wild. Now for this one, I did notice a slight improvement, but the effect is very subtle. I also tested Doom 3, and this is a 1080p native game in docked mode, and this one showed no differences whatsoever. So for me, this mClassic is a bit of a head scratcher. At this point, I'm not sure if my unit is defective or if I'm just expecting too much. But I certainly do expect more from this device. I think the best experience I've had is with GameCube games. And there are indeed some clear differences in the games that I tested out. So then we go back to the open source scan converter or the FrameMeister. I don't see this product replacing either of those, and I don't think it would make any sense putting them in the same video chain as an OSSC or a FrameMeister. But then again, it doesn't really seem to work too well with modern day consoles, as the results are no differences whatsoever in the worst case to negligible at best. So where does this product fit? And that's where I have to ask myself, is this product really for me? So in conclusion, what do I think about the mClassic? Well, that is an interesting one. This is something that I had some difficulty with. I never really felt like it provided the gains that I was expecting, nor did it provide the gains that other reviewers were showing off, as well as on their website, some of the comparison images that they had to show. Now, there's a chance that I have a defective unit or it may need a firmware update, I don't know. And to elaborate further, I didn't notice any differences playing Xbox 360 games at 720p with the mClassic connected up. I didn't really notice anything with the PlayStation TV. I didn't really notice anything with an Xbox One. I noticed a couple of minor improvements with GameCube playing Star Fox Assault. And I did notice some minor improvements with Breath of the Wild. But at the end of the day, the number of games that it seemed to affect and really improve was really small for me. You know, I tested a lot of different things, and I guess I just expected much more for what this product is advertised to do. I want to bring this video out to just show you my experience with this product, and I don't want to kind of hold that back. You know, if this is indeed the final product, then it's something that I would never use, and I don't think it's worth the $100 price tag. However, there are a lot of people out there that have already backed the Indiegogo campaign, and I do hope that the experience that those people have is a lot better than mine. For me, I don't really think this is the cost of admission. This is something that would never replace my open source scan converter as far as upscalers are concerned, and it would never replace my FrameMeister, which incidentally has its own type of edge smoothing algorithms as well built into that device. So for me, I think this is an interesting product. I want to see more, and I hopefully, you know, what I have is not the indicative of what the actual product is, because a part of me feels like this product, there's something not right with it. Maybe I just got a defective one, I'm not sure. Well guys, we're going to leave it here for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up and let me know down below what you thought about my thoughts and opinions of the mClassic Plus. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.